I work for the city of Houston. When the flood came, wasn't nobody out here for Hurricane Harvey, but HPD and Public Works. Y'all first responders, they didn't respond to nothing of what was going on. That's why half these people drowned, because they didn't respond. They gave up on Houston. And I'm gonna tell it like it is. They gave up on y'all. They gave up. They didn't care about us. They didn't gonna give up.
I just got back from a quick bike ride and came home, and what do you know, Philippa is in the kitchen holding it down with a little assist here from Mr. Chris Aron, who was a great inspiration today, going out to front lines and assessing situations and reporting back so that we can empower others to get out there. Today was crazy. We have we sent out maybe we coordinated probably over 2,000 meals today. Sent out some supplies, and none of them really touched our place, which was the goal. We sent them out through different channels and things. So it's been pretty incredible to see folks show up and do some awesome things. You know, 7 o'clock at night, and West Street recovery is underway in full force. So thanks to everyone out there. Thanks to our crew here. Y'all be good.
So, welcome to 7495 Brompton Street, or what's left of it. We had water in our house with Alison back in 2001. Then we had about 15 years of bliss here where we could raise our son, live our lives, and have a great time.
Yeah, this is my house. Australian flag, because I was wrestling with my friend one time and I put a hole in the wall. So I tried to cover it up, but it looked really suspicious. So a hole in the wall's right there, covered with tape. Don't tell my mother. I mean, I can't really remember the last time I slept here because it wasn't special. You know, usually you get that like moment to say goodbye, that last night in your house, but I never got that. And so here we are. I'm gonna have to clean all this stuff out, but yeah, a lot of memories. This is also from me. I was trying to practice my archery, the bow and arrow, and I got 2 shots in before I was told to stop.
So about 5 in the morning, 5:30, water started to show up in a big way. In this sort of event, you've got water coming through fairly aggressively from the back door and the front door, and you also have water pressure under the house, so water can come through the walls because they are built with air holes, and there is also water coming through, sort of bubbling through the plumbing in the center of the house. So you can sort of hear that happening, and you know we're going to take a beating. Surely one of the things that you have to be really feeling proud about is the way Houston responded, and friends helped friends in this episode. So the moral dilemma is that while we can get out, we're not the only ones in this complex, right? So we had text messaging going on in the complex, but also we had the old-fashioned communication where we could just yell at our neighbors and communicate that way. And the dilemma is, or maybe it's not such a dilemma, is that you can't really just head out and so say sayonara. You've got to think about the other people around you. And so the contingency plan is not only going through the roof, but it's going through other people's roofs and getting them out, and then, you know, how to get help.
It was always about helping people and also serving underserved communities, because just on the news we always saw they were talking about suburban areas, they were talking about some more well-to-do areas around the city of Houston, but nobody was talking about Fifth Ward, nobody was talking about the northeast side, and it was crazy. After the rain dwindled, and the water started to go down, there were still a lot of people who couldn't make it to shelters, whose house was flooded. So we started collecting supplies, and it all started on West Street, started in a small house on West Street. So that's when the name came, West Street Recovery.
One of the strengths of West Street is that we were interracial from the jump. And working across class lines and race lines, we're able to go into different spaces, we're able to connect resources faster because we already have trust across those lines.
We're beginning to like ramp up to a strategy of helping create sort of neighborhood resilience plans. Like, this was fucked. We need to have a plan because this is gonna happen again.
We are very privileged and lucky to have live in a society, in a bubble that cares for one another, but you see these people that don't have that privilege and they're still living with mold in their homes. Not one contractor has gone to their door, and they're waiting for help that may never come.
We've talked about making ourselves obsolete. You know, if we do our work well enough and empower other community organizations and other people out there, then that would mean that the work has been done. But every week I feel like we're not going to be needed anymore, and then we still get phone calls. And so that hasn't come yet.
I've been told there's only 6 degrees of separation of everybody in the world. So we got connections to somebody who just like, look, how much you need? You got it. I don't know how, I don't know who, but it exists. The bottom line is we need to be raising funds. We gotta get these people taken care of. We gotta get these people in their homes.
103. Woo!
So at 3 o'clock, we have to muck this lady's house. What does that mean? We have to tear out all the drywall.
Okay, let's do it.
That's like what you're here to do.
That's
right?
awesome. Yes.
You can see that some of the trash has been picked up as well, which has been really good.
Man, there's already like an asthma epidemic in East Houston from the oil.
Yeah, this is gonna
make it so much worse.
4 weeks into the storm to the day, and you can see this mold just completely covering the walls and the doors.
When the water was going down, it left sticks here. Yeah, look, that's a line of sticks. Oh, that's not mold. Yeah, so it like sat there for a day or two. Well, you remember those people we talked to earlier said it was 6 feet for 3 days.
But looking at other places and hearing other people's stories through doing this documentary kind of realizes what privilege is. Because when you're living in privilege, you don't realize it's what you have, right? It doesn't feel real. It's because it just happens so quickly, and like being away from it all. Like at Rice, nothing happened. There was like a little bit of rain, no flooding. And so you're very isolated. And getting photos from my parents and then coming back here, removing the drywall and stuff and seeing this, it feels like a weird dream. And then like when I wake up, I'll go back to my house and it'll be the way it was. But you know, no more Christmases here, no more friends over, no more putting holes in walls.
Okay, so please go to our Facebook. It is West Street Recovery. If you go to the About page, we have contact information. We have phone numbers. We have addresses. Please call these numbers. Use these emails.
He helped me and my boy. We was together in the water.
I vouch for this man to the end because I know he was out there tired as hell getting and helping people, man. My boy from he family. He just don't know it yet.
For me, this has been the story of West Street, which is neighbors showing up for neighbors, and they just want to keep that going. So there's a big hole, and you can cover that with plywood as much as you want, but you need to fill it with cement. You need to fill it with soil. You need to fill it with something solid. You can't just gloss over it. So